Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Revelations of the Scarf. As per usual, the parts before this are listed in the description. Now, let's chat real quick. Things are getting kinda hectic in this series, and we seriously cannot wait for you guys to listen to the rest. Okay, so this chapter is written by moi. The art was done by Lazy, and for the voice actors, I'll be playing the narrator.
I'm Lacey, and I'll be playing Marinette and Tikki.
I'm January, and I'll be playing Adrien.
We are almost halfway. Here we go. Chapter 6. She knows he knows. Marinette was in a muddle of confusion. 1, she had an amazing hug with Noir after giving him his mittens, and then 2, Adrien was flirting with her in class.
Tikki, I need you to pinch me,
Marinette said while pacing her room. Tikki looked at her.
Do you actually? Because the last time you told me to do that, you just told me it was a saying.
Tikki said.
Okay, yeah, don't pinch me, but tell me if I remember correctly,
Marinette said. Tikki nodded.
So, I made a pair of mittens for Chat Noir.
Tikki nodded.
He hugged me, and I nuzzled into him.
She nodded.
And Adrien called me beautiful.
Another nod.
And he caught me and put his arm around my waist.
Tikki nodded once again.
That all happened.
And from what you told me, he was running super fast after school and almost started running after me if it wasn't for his bodyguard stopping him.
Marinette said, a hint of questioning in her voice.
I might be wrong, but that's what it looked like from your purse.
Tikki said.
What is going on?
Marinette muttered. Marinette sat down on her chase, but the second she sat down, her phone rang. She got up, expecting to see Alia's name light up on the screen, but no. It read, Adrien. She did a double take.
Tikki?
Tikki flew over and looked at her phone, and then she smiled.
Answer it.
Marinette flipped the phone over.
No, I can't. I can't.
Tikki rolled her eyes and struggled to flip the phone over. Since she didn't have fingers, she couldn't get a grip on the phone. But eventually, she got it, and then she pressed the accept button. Marinette turned to Tikki.
Screw you,
she mouthed at the Kwame. The Kwame stuck her tiny pink tongue out at the girl. Then she motioned for her to say something.
Hello?
She asked.
Marinette? Hey, I wanted to, talk to you.
She heard Adrien say on the other line. Marinette sat in silence.
What's up?
I wanted to ask if, what's the name of the fabric store you bought from? I really liked the fabric that you made the mittens out of. I mean, your mittens, that I felt, and I really liked it.
Adrien said, stuttering over his words. Marinette was confused.
You don't sew, Adrien. I sewed a button into your shirt one day because it popped out in the middle of class,
she said. There was a brief silence.
Yeah, I know, but, my dad could probably make something, or, I can try.
Marinette sat in utter confusion. Was this really why he called her? He couldn't just ask her this tomorrow?
I think it's closed or moved locations, so I don't know where it is,
Marinette said, knowing that she's lying, but just didn't want him to... Oh, I can't talk. Marinette said, knowing that she's lying, but just didn't want to tell him and have him find out that the same fabric was used for his scarf as there.
Yeah, well, then that sucks, but thanks for the helping me,
he said.
Yeah, see you tomorrow?
Yep, see you tomorrow, bye,
he said, and then hung up before she could get another word in. Marinette stared at her phone for a minute more, not knowing what to say. Tikki then broke the silence.
Okay, now I'm confused. More than I was before.
She said.
He was stuttering. Why was he stuttering? I don't understand what's going on,
Marinette asked. Marinette began pacing, trying to comprehend what was going on.
Tikki, do you think he knows?
Marinette asked, a hint of worry in her voice as she wrung her hands together in a fluid motion.
No, what?
That I made the scarf, because I don't want him to know. I don't want him to know that his dad didn't make it. He was so happy, and I don't think he would be happy if he knew that it was me that made it. He's gonna think I'm weird for making the scarf.
Marinette rambled.
Marinette, look at me.
Marinette looked at Tikki.
He should be grateful that you made him the scarf. And if he isn't, then he isn't worth your time.
Marinette went back to pacing.
But he doesn't like me. He might think I'm weird for putting in so much effort for his birthday gift when I had only known him for 2 weeks.
I want you to think back to when you made that scarf, okay?
Marinette nodded.
Remember the gold thread that you used? Do you remember what you used it for?
Marinette thought for a moment, but then looked up with eyes full of obliviousness.
You use that thread to add your signature, like you do to every one of your designs.
Tikki said. Marinette tried to recall her making of his scarf, and she remembered adding her signature in the gold thread, the same gold thread that she used to put into the derby hat that she made a few weeks later.
Adrien is smart, but if he's not smart enough to know that you made the scarf for him, then I think you should just let him be oblivious. He doesn't deserve to know.
But what if he does know and he just won't say anything?
She asked.
Then let him. He's obviously trying to figure out what is going on in his head and how he feels. Let him come to you.
Marinette nodded.
You're right. I need to calm down.
She turned to her drawer full of her sewing supplies.
I'm gonna make something.
Tikki smiled.
Okay.
Marinette sat down at her desk.
Can you grab some fabric? I don't care what color.
She said. Tikki nodded, wanting to help Marinette feel better, no matter what it takes. She flew over and grabbed a random color, and it just so happened to be a dark green. Marinette turned on her sewing machine and started making something. She sewed until her fingers cramped and the design was almost finished.
Can you grab me some black thread?
Tikki obliged her request, grabbing some black thread. Marinette then started sewing the final detail into the fabric, the one thing she hoped Adrien would never notice. She finished the design. It was simplistic but beautiful. It was a dark green scarf, and it had Marinette's signature in black fabric signed into it. It was more visible in the light, but like the other scarf she made, you wouldn't be able to see it unless you knew to look for it.
He doesn't know I made it,
she thought. Tikki stared from an elevated platform on the desk.
He knows she made it.
Tikki thought.
Okay, don't be mad at us because of how short this chapter was and for almost being a week late. I swear the next chapter will totally make up for it because it's a bit longer and it has some pretty fun stuff in it. Like, honestly, it's one of the best ones. Also, if you're a fan of the last series, The Broken Mirror, I have some very good news for you. First off, as of Friday this week, the Broken Mirror movie, which is basically a compilation of all the chapters in season 1, will be premiering on YouTube. As of right now, we aren't sure if it's going to be available on Spotify, so if you want to join the premiere on YouTube, please go ahead and do so. Also, on the topic of the Broken Mirror, we are going to be live streaming when we hit 500 subscribers to be talking about the future of the Broken Mirror as well as what has happened in the series. So if you'd want to see this live, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, as of right now, we are currently writing out the chapters for the Broken Mirror Season 2 because we already planned it out and have the entire plot set out. So stick around, and thanks for sticking around. We love you all so much.